Well, every member of the House will have the opportunity next week of showing where they stand on the education cuts and on the increase in class sizes when the Labour Party tables a private member's motion on the issue here next Tuesday. I want to, however, pursue with the Tanaiste some of the matters that are raised with the Taoiseach yesterday in relation to the medical cards for over 70s. I want her to, first of all, answer two questions which the Taoiseach didn't answer yesterday. First of all, is it or is it not the case that the Minister for Health will be able to change the income limits which were announced yesterday for the medical card for over 70s without coming back to the House? And secondly, is the government going to index those income limits or is it not? Secondly, I want to ask the Tanaiste about the legal position now regarding the medical card entitlement for over 70s. And I want to put it to her that the statement which was made yesterday by the Taoiseach and by the Minister for Health does not change the legal entitlement of people who are over 70 to hold a medical card and to continue to hold a medical card. Let me explain. The Health Act of 2001 gives over 70s a legal entitlement automatically to have a medical card. The government said yesterday that it intends to repeal that section of the 2001 Health Act. Repealing the 2001 Health Act will change the position for people who are not yet 70, but it will not change the legal entitlement to hold a medical card for people who are currently over 70. And that is because the Interpretation Act of 2005 says as follows: where an enactment is repealed, the repeal does not affect any right, privilege, obligation or liability acquired, accrued or incurred under the enactment. In other words, the repeal of the 2001 Health Act will not change the legal entitlement for people who are currently over 70 to continue to hold the medical card. The only way that you can do that, Tanaiste, is by bringing in a legislative measure to take the medical card off them. Yes. Now, frankly, if you have problems with your backbenchers getting them to vote for the repeal of the 2001 Act, let's see how they face up to a legislative measure that actually takes the medical card off the people who currently have it and to which they have a legal entitlement. Now, Tanaiste, given that people who are over 70 continue to have the legal right to hold the medical card, given the make-up nature of the figures that yesterday's announcement was made on, can't the government, before all of the pensioners assemble on Molesworth Street later this morning, can't the government make a decision to do the decent thing and leave them with the medical card? Well, first of all, the Tanaiste didn't answer the first two questions that I asked, and I invite her again to answer those. That is it or is it not the position that the Minister can change the income limits at the stroke of a pen after the 1st of January and after these measures are enacted? And secondly, are you or are you not going to index link the new income limits? I'd like an answer to those questions, and I understand there are other members of the House who are looking for answers to those questions as well before they vote on the Fine Gael motion later this evening. Secondly, Tanaiste, with respect, you have not answered my question with regard to the legal position regarding people who are currently over 70. It is perfectly clear that repealing the 2001 Act does not remove the legal entitlement that people who have already reached the age of 70 have to hold a medical card. Now, can I ask you to clarify the position? Is it the government's position that you intend to introduce a measure simply to repeal the 2001 Act, which, yes, will change the position for people who are under 70, but will not change the legal position for people who are over 70? Or is it your intention to bring in a piece of legislation that expressly provides for taking back the medical card from people who already have them. And I think we're entitled to now, we've had this over the course of the past week and a number of interviews by the Taoiseach on radio and television and press conference yesterday. I think we're entitled at this stage to know what the government intends. That is, if the government, of course, knows itself what it intends to do with this matter. So I think we need some clarity on this, Tanaiste. 3 simple questions. Can the Minister change the income limits? Are you going to index the income limits? And what is the legal basis, or is there a legal basis for taking back medical cards or taking back the entitlement for people who have already got that entitlement under the 2001 Act?